Hello friends. The topic under discussion today is Robert Browning's My Last Duchess. Robert Browning belongs to the Victorian era of the poetry, and he was born in 1812 and he was till 1889. He is considered to be the most learned man of his time. There was not a single subject, or we can say there was no subject with which he was not acquainted. Music, painting, sculpture, architectures, all these were subjects on which he could write with the greatest authority. In my separate lecture, I have familiarized you with the chief characteristics of Victorian poetry. Among great Victorian poets, we have Tennyson, Matthew Arnold, and Robert Browning. These all are prescribed in the first section of poetry for BA Part 3. So, let's start with the poem My Last Duchess. Look at the title of the poem, My Last Duchess. My last Duchess. The pronoun my indicates towards the possessiveness, the ownership. Duchess is considered to be the wife of a duke. The form of the poem is a dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue is a term, or we can say is a type of poetry which is associated chiefly with the name of Robert Browning. Although poets earlier than Robert Browning have also made efforts to write monologues like Tennyson's Ulysses, and even after Browning, some poets have written dramatic monologues, but none use them so successfully as it was used by Robert Browning. So it is associated with his name. Now, what is a dramatic monologue? The term consists of two words, dramatic as well as monologue. Mono means one and log means story. Thus, it is a one-man story. And dramatic because it arises out of a dramatic moment in the speaker's life. Browning wanted not only to reveal the character of his speakers, but also he wanted to reveal something of his own self through his character. That's why he was not satisfied with drama or lyrical. He coined a new type of poetry that is known as dramatic monologue. Now, there is a clear-cut difference between soliloquy, aside, and dramatic monologue. Soliloquy is one-man's talk. One-man's talk means a person is talking to himself. But in a dramatic monologue, although the speaker is one, but the presence of one or more listeners is also shown. And aside is a term which is used in drama or in TV serials. We also see that there are very many characters on the stage and one person comes at one side of the stage and utters something, speaks out something which is meant not to be heard by the people on the stage but by the audience only. So all these three terms are totally different. Browning is considered as a master of dramatic monologue, and the presence of one or more listener is essential for a dramatic monologue, but the listeners are silent listeners. They contribute at the most only by a yeah, no, etc. Otherwise, they don't speak. But we come to know about them through the speaker's conversation. Now we come to the point, My Last Duchess. It was first published in Bells and Pomegranates Third under dramatic lyrics and Italy in 1842, and later it was published in dramatic romances. And the background of the poem is the Italian town Ferrara, and the duke that has been mentioned in the poem is Duke of Ferrara, and the Duchess is Lucrezia de Medici, and it is believed that the Duke married a very young Duchess, but she was not up to his expectation. She was quite naive, she was quite simple, and therefore, at the order of the Duke, she was murdered. And Browning has made this episode the base of his poem. And the other person mentioned are Fra Pendors and Claus of Innsbruck. They are imaginary artists that have been mentioned in the poem. And now we come to the textual study of My Last Duchess. Look at the way the poem starts. That's my last Duchess painted on the wall. That's my last Duchess. The Duke of Ferrara is talking to a count's messenger whose daughter he is getting married with. And he is showing his previous Duchess portrait to the Duke's envoy. And we find the poem begins with, that's my last Duchess. That's my last Duchess. It means the poem has an abrupt beginning. It appears as if it has already started when we started reading it. And in the same manner, it ends abruptly, all of a sudden. The Duke is showing his picture gallery to the Count's envoy, and he shows him his previous wife's portrait by saying, that's my last Duchess, painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. That's my last Duchess. She's no more. Last is previous, one who's no more. That's my last Duchess, painted on the wall. He has got the portrait of his Duchess painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. This is a lifelike portrait of the Duchess. And here the poet shows us the difference between life and death, between art and reality. The portrait is quite lifelike. I call that piece a wonder now. Wonder is wonderful piece of art, wonderful work of art. Fra Pendoc's hands work busily a day, and there she stands. Now look at the word Fra Pendoc. Fra is friar. The Duke would not allow anybody else except a friar to paint his wife's portrait. And even he was given only a day to finish his work. And at the end of the day, the portrait was read. And that is a wonderful piece of art according to the Duke. Fra Pendoc's hands work busily a day, and there she stands. Will it please you sit and look at her? Now look at the word please. It appears as if the Duke is requesting, but on the other hand, he is ordering the messenger to sit down and have a look at the portrait. I said Fra Pendoc by design. By design means deliberately. He says I have referred the word Fra Pendoc's deliberately. Why? For never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, that depth and passion of its earnest glance. But to myself they turn, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I. Because whenever strange people look at the portrait of the Duchess, they look towards me as if they want to know what is the reason for such a passionate look into the Duchess' eye. Because nobody is there by, only I am who unveils the portrait. Now, while revealing the character of the Duchess, through his speech, the Duke in the process is revealing his own character. In the very first few lines, we find my, I repeated very many times, which indicates that he is quite egocentric, self-centered. I said Fra Pendolph by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. But to myself they turn, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you but I. Nobody is allowed to unveil the portrait. This work is done only by the Duke himself. And seemed as if they would ask me if they dust. Dust is there. It appears to him that those who look at the pictures want to know something from the Duke. And what is that? How such a glance came there? What is the reason behind such a passionate look in the Duchess' eye? Was there an affair between the painter and the Duchess? And that's why he said, I've already mentioned you that the painter was a monk, and even he was given only 1 day to complete the picture. Because in history we find many instances are there when there gets an affair between the person who paints and the model. So Dukes makes it clear that there was no such possibility in the between Duchess and the monk. So, not the first are you to turn and ask this. And he also makes it clear, nobody has asked till then, but still he feels that whoever will look at the picture would want to know from you how such a look, passionate and deep look came into the Duchess' eye. So it was not her husband's presence only call that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheek. And now he makes it clear, when the monk painted the picture, the Duke was also sitting there the whole time. And he says it was not because of my presence that such a glance or such a passionate look came into Duchess' eye. No, it was not like that. It was not her husband's presence only called that spot of joy into the Duchess' cheeks. Perhaps Fra Pendolph chanced to say, her mental lapse over my lady's is too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half flush that dies along her throat. Probably the painter paid some professional compliments to the Duchess, that her cloak was overlapping her waist, or it was not possible for paint to reproduce the blush or the reddish look of the blossom that she had in her neck. Such stuff was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for piling up that sort of joy. And now Duke say, these type of compliments, they are just professional compliments. They are not to be taken seriously, but Duchess took them seriously, and that's why she felt so happy, and there was this passionate look in her eyes. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad to easily impress. Now, there is broken syntax. The language is broken. The poet is not able to find proper words. He is lacking words to describe the character of the Duchess. And he says, she had a heart. How shall I say? How shall I say means I am not able to express. She had a heart too soon made glad. She was very easily made glad, and she was very easily impressed by anybody. These qualities which are considered as positive qualities, for Duke these are not positive. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad to easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks were everywhere. Now, Duke belongs to an old aristocratic family, and the Good aristocratic people have their likings and dislikings. But since the Duchess was a simple lady, she was pleased with everything and everybody. And this habit of the Duchess irritates the Duke. It hurts his ego. And he says, she liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Nothing was missed by her. Sir, it was all one. It was all one means she didn't make any discrimination. My favor at her breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west. My favor at her breast means some ornament which was given to me, which was worn by the Duchess on her breast. But, ma, this ornament was not given to the Duchess by Duke as a mark of affection, but as a favor. Or the beautiful natural scenes, the boughs of cherries some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, and the white mule she rode with round the terrace. All and each would draw from her alike the approving speech or blush. The beauties of nature, the gifts of ordinary men, the gifts of her husband, she had the same sort of approving manner for each and everything. While Duke expected something special for himself, he wanted some special treatment for himself, and this lack of behavior in Duchess behavior irritated the Duke very much. She thanked me, good, but thanked somehow, I know not how, as if she thanked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. Now what the Duke says is, she thanked me. She felt gratitude. She felt obliged when somebody gifted her a gift. She thanked me, good, it's okay. But thanked somehow, I know not how. He doesn't get how it happened, but he doesn't like the way she thanked him, because she didn't make a distinction while she thanked her own husband or while she thanked anybody else. As if she ranked my gift of a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. The Duke says, I wanted something special because he feels by marrying her, he has given her the name of 900-year-old ancestry. But she thanked the other people and me in the same manner. Who would stoop to blame this sort of trifle? And according to Duke, this was trifle behavior. And he said, who would stoop? Stooping? To yield, to surrender, to descend. Who would stoop to blame this sort of trifling? He didn't like the idea of telling the Duchess that she was not up to the mark or she was not doing everything properly. To make your, even had you skill in speech which I have not, to make your will quite clear to such an one and say, just this or that and you disgust me, here you miss or there exceed the mark. And if she let herself be lessened so, not plainly set her wits to yours, force who then made excuse, even then would be some stooping, and I choose never to stoop. What does the Duke say? He said, even if you have the skill in speech, through your words you can make your will clear that I don't like this behavior of yours. Here you are up to the expectation, here you are below the mark. And if the Duchess was agreed to what he said and was ready to improve upon herself, but to come from your high position and descend low and to tell her was according to Duke stooping. And he said, I choose never to stoop. It means it was below his dignity to tell the Duchess that I do not like this sort of behavior of yours. And his confidence, she might have changed. Without any argument, she might have changed herself. But still he said, had I told her that I don't like this behavior, change yourself, then it would be below my dignity. And I never did this type of behavior, and I never like this type of behavior. I choose never to stoop. Oh sir, she smiled no doubt whenever I passed her. But who passed without Mr. Singh smile? Now look at the words. He said, she smiled no doubt whenever I passed her. In order to make Duke happy, she used to smile when the Duke used to pass by her side. But he said, these smiles were not reserved for her husband only. The smiles were for all the people, and same type of smile. This grew means this type of behavior grew troublesome, or this type of behavior disturbed the Duke so much, he said, I gave commands. I gave commands mean I passed orders. Then all smiles stopped. This grew, I gave commands, then all smiles stopped together. What the poet means is, without mentioning the word murder, he says, I passed the orders. I couldn't tolerate this sort of behavior of the Duchess, and he found it better to kill her, better to murder her, than to tell herself to correct, than to tell the Duchess that she can correct herself. And now, as if nothing has happened, he again draws in attention towards the envoy or the messenger with whom he is talking. And he says, will it please you rise? We'll meet the company below them. The other people who has come with the marriage proposal are sitting at the ground floor, and they both are at the first floor looking at the portrait of the Duchess. And he again says to the envoy that let us join the company at the ground floor. We'll meet the company below them. I repeat, look at the word repeat. I repeat, the count, your master's non-munificence. Munificence is generosity. I repeat, means he has already stated. But he again says, I know your master is known for his generosity. Therefore, I am quite confident that in itself is ample warrant. Ample warrant is sufficient guarantee in itself that no just pretense, justice rightful claim of mine for dowry will be disallowed. That whatever he has demanded for dowry, he will get because the count is known to be generous. Now look at the character of the Duke. He is quite money-loving person. He is greedy. He loves the lady. He loves the money more than the lady. He is talking about his previous wife's treatment, how he passed her death orders to the messenger so that he may convey his message to the new Duchess. She might act or behave accordingly. The count, your master's non-munificence is ample warrant that no just pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed, though his fair daughter's self, as I abode at starting, is my object. As I have already said that my preference is his beautiful daughter. Nay, no, we'll go together down, sir. When they were stepping down the stairs, the Count's messenger was waiting for the Duke to first leave. Then he told her, no, we'll go together. Notice Neptune. Now, while going towards the stairs, the Duke draws the attention of the messenger towards the bronze statue of god Neptune. Neptune is considered to be the sea god. Notice Neptune, though taming a seahorse. In that portrait or in that sculpture, he is taming a seahorse. Thought a rarity. It is a rare work of art, but the Duke feels proud that he has this collection in his home. Which cross of Innsbruck cast in bronze form? Clause of instruct is an imaginary artist. In order to impress the messenger, the Duke puts the name of an imaginary artist and he says, this statue was in particular made for me by the artist. Now, what does the purpose serve? By pointing towards the statue of Neptune, the Duke wants to assert that just as sea god tames his sea horses, in the same manner he tames his Duchess. And then the poem ends as abruptly as it has begun.